Hey guys, what is up? It is Matt. I am sitting here on a Thursday night when we should have had a video uploaded, but hey, guess what? I ran out of videos to upload, so I've decided to venture right down the soapbox path once again, just ranting and rambling about whatsits and whatsits galores. Today's subject will be on Framerate, which was suggested to me by Mr. Kaisenel. Forward right off the bat, I am pretty much just ranting this ad lib. I'm not reading off a script or anything, so my thoughts might be a little bit more disconnected, less procedural, if you will. I'm not forming my thoughts whatsoever. So in future episodes of this, I might just go back and course correct, or perhaps course correct myself in the comments. We'll see what happens. My stance on Framerate in general. I can tell you right now that I'm not an expert on any stretch of the imagination, when it comes to this crap. I can tell you right now that I do get heavily annoyed by the bigots who refuse to play anything that is less than 60 frames per second on their computer and outright choose to fucking just ignore its existence. I mean, okay, cool, good for you. It's a great game and you're deciding not to play it. So who's missing out here? You? Or the $20 that you're not giving to an indie developer just because they don't want to fucking take the extra, or perhaps they can't even afford the extra time to make their game as smooth as possible. I mean, it's really freaking weird. I've read varying reports on this just real quick just before I sat down to make this. I can't say vlog. You're looking at a picture, but basically, I don't know, man. It's like 1,000 frames is supposedly the real number that a human can see. Whereas I've read various reports on Reddit. I know that's not a very credible source, but hey, lots of people post on Reddit. Lots of smart, intelligent people. They're saying it's actually closer to 255 frames a second. I suppose I could go do more research on it, but you know what? I don't actually really care. I mean, I don't really understand what all the buzz behind this 4K or even now supposedly 8K televisions is all about if we can't really see above 1,000, 255, 60, 45, all these random numbers thrown about. It's mega confusing, and honestly, it kind of feels like people just throw higher numbers out there just to make themselves seem smart, sophisticated, and awesome. If any of you have any thoughts on the subject, or feel free to fucking enlighten me about this subject. But really, the only difference that I can see is that in the smoothness of things, I guess, especially when it comes to VR, the higher the frame rate, the better. I believe it's somewhere around 120. If it dips at any point in the game below 120, you start to feel sick. I've never felt sick playing VR, but that's me. I have somewhat of an iron stomach. I've never gotten sick on an airplane, never gotten sick on a boat, never gotten sick reading in a car. That's just me. Don't mind me just sipping on my coffee. Next. Again, frame rate is less of an issue for me, especially when it comes to anything in these new video games, because I grew up with an Atari and a NES. So, frame rate kind of wasn't really that much of an issue. I want to say that these systems had 30 frames, but I'm willing to bet many of the games dipped way below that easily and frequently. What comes to mind right now is in Mega Man when you take a hit and things slow way down and Mega Man literally flashes as things are like creeping forward. Though there was even a glitch that you could do with the frame rate where if you would pause the game after shooting a bullet, you could pause and unpause and pause and unpause to get that bullet to continue passing through an enemy if you timed it right. I mean, listen, I get that in this day and age, 30 frames on certain video games, and I'm guessing VR and driving and first-person games especially, can actually make some people sick, and that's fine. I don't mind that if people complain about their 60 frames, if that's really the outlying issue here. But I'm just going to repeat myself, I just cannot stand when elitists go out of their way to shit over a game. And I mean, it could be a fucking super awesome game, but just because the frame rate isn't up to your, elitist standards, you can't handle it? Oh, come on. Get your head out of your fucking ass and just play a fucking video game. That's what they are. I mean, honestly, to me, while 60 frames can feel good and can feel pretty awesome and smooth. Sometimes it can feel almost too smooth or anything higher, especially with on PCs where, you know, people have, what's the word? People have unblocked or uncapped the frame limit, like the frame rate limit. That can get a little weird. And I don't, you know, I don't like seeing astronomical numbers of frames and things start to feel a little unnatural, a little uncanny valley, if you will. So that was my rant on frame rate. Feel free to add your 2 cents in the comments below. I will do my best to reply with the knowledge I have on frame rate or just my general opinion. This has been one of the first times that I went off script and just ranted from the top of my head. I don't know how it feels. I'm a little wary of how this feels because, especially with kids, you know, you can hear random loud noises in the background that are a fucking hell to edit out for me. You know, like it probably already happened. I'll let you know in the next video if it did. Finally, you know, if you have any suggestions or topics for more rants in the future, feel free to let me know, man. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you next time, hopefully with a video.